Hello, everybody. I'm Ernest. Have y'all been watching the news? Well, for those who haven't seen my channel or are unaware, I am a federal employee and I took the deferred resignation. By the way, it's been what? It's been more than a week, maybe going on 2 weeks, and haven't heard anything from it. Don't know what the status of it is or if it's going to even be honored or not. They said in an email they're going to get back with us, and they haven't heard anything. So I'm not sure if I agree with what Trump and Elon are doing with the government workforce. Um, I'm I'm for looking for fraud, waste, and abuse, but the way they're going about just blanketly firing people that haven't even been appraised every so often, every year a federal employee has to go through an appraisal system where we told like if we're performing well or not. I know the general public believes that us federal workers are lazy, we don't have much to do, uh we're not like the general population. And years back, like 2013 and older, I could say that it was that way. When I first came to work for the federal system in 2006, I think is when I took my position. Um, it was kind of overstaffed, and sometimes we didn't have much to do, but it isn't that way anymore, and we have a hard time keeping people here. Our turnover rate is pretty bad. The workload is pretty heavy. You're expected to do a lot. I work in finance, by the way, so those that know, but I worked as a mechanic and I've worked as a supervisor, and now I'm in finance. And over the years, I've seen the transition from being, let's say, overstaffed to now we are understaffed, and we've been understaffed for years now, that we have to supplement our work with military folks, which I work in a an office that is all civilian workforce now, and we have several people in finance that are on orders with us just to make up for the lack of civilian employees. I don't know what it is like at other areas, because I work for the Reserve, Air Force Reserve, and I think the majority of the people that work for the federal government are uh, regular uh, active duty military. I'm talking about the Department of Defense. I don't know about all the other agencies that they're going through cuts, but I'm talking about in my office, my area here. We are. I can honestly say we are not overmanned. And I got a letter. I mean, an email stating that please give 5 bullet statements of what you did last week. And then directly behind that, I got another email from the Pentagon saying, do not respond to that email. We have a system here in place that justifies your job or not. The email came from OPM, which is like the human resources for the federal government. I'm sure they were instructed by DOGE or whatever they're called, Elon's group. Um, and I've seen in the news where they just blanketly fire new hires. And now it's starting to backfire, and that some of the new hires were drastically needed, and now they're trying to get them back. Uh, I know what Elon or his the way he's doing it is what he's done with his companies when he took over uh, Twitter, uh, the social networks platforms that he owns, and he just basically blanketly fires and then restaffs with people and positions that he do. I mean that that's his way of doing these cuts. I'm not sure if that is going to work for us and in the federal government. It's super complicated. The all the different agencies and all the different uh, jobs that we have in the federal government. So I can't say I agree with the cuts on the way that they're doing it. I believe that there is a lot of fraud, waste, and abuse in the federal government. I can say in their Air Force Reserve, what I work at in this particular base, that is not so much the case. Uh, I was a supervisor. Now I'm in finance. I've seen all the different aspects of running this wing that I work for. And I can say overwhelmingly, supervisors, workers would always say, no, we are not staffed correctly. We are not overpaid. As a matter of fact, we have hard time people taking positions, don't want these positions here because of the workload. And they can make more money in the civilian world. So I don't think at least at this work environment that I am, the blanket statement that government workers are lazy and uh, just don't have enough to do, it doesn't fit everybody. Um, I'm sure there is a lot of that, but how do you figure it out? What's the process? I know you have to go through agency and have not just an overall firing process if you're under the probation. So when you get hired, you're under a probation period of 1 year, and you can be fired pretty easily then, and that's why they get those guys first, because they don't have the rights that, like, say us that are or established. It takes quite a bit to get rid of a federal employee unless you just cut their position, and they're foregoing all the processes that there is in the government. I mean, it's part of the bureaucracy, and good or bad, that's the system that we have in place. And maybe there is some reforming that needs to be done, but it needs to be done with, at a little bit slower pace, I believe, and with more surgical, not just with a meat cleaver and just chop it off and just start from there, because people are being fired that are needed, and without any regard to what the management is telling DOGE. They're just blankly firing. I hope it all works out in the end. I'm still waiting to hear whether my resignation was accepted or not. When's the last day of my job? Do I have to stop working? There hasn't nothing been done, or it's all been done in the background, and us employees, we don't know where we stand. My boss asks me every day. I go to my human resources here at the wing level, and she doesn't know what's going on. So there's a lot of confusion right now in the federal government. We're going through this transition. I hope it really works out in the end, and that they don't do too much damage to our workforce, because we are what makes the government work, and us workers, and not all of us are lazy and have nothing to do. Believe me, we have plenty to do. Sometimes I used to work overtime for free. Believe it or not, for the first 2 years that I was hired here, to keep up with the workflow, because my job is to pay people. People count on me to pay their bills and everything, and a lot of times I didn't have enough time to process all these people that we have, and it hasn't really changed all that much. So anyway, that's my 2 cents. You know, I'm for cutting fraud and waste. No problem with that, but there needs to be a better system than what's going on right now. So we'll see what's going on. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.